I'm Managing Editor Kim Schmidt. Welcome to On the Record. Here's a look at what's currently impacting the ag equipment industry. Last time we reported on JCB's efforts to grow its ag dealer network in North America. This week we have more from Executive Editor Dave Kanicki's interview with Rob Moringa, General Manager of Dealer Development, and Dan Schmidt, Vice President of Agricultural Sales. Moringa says they are looking for dealers who will pioneer the brand.
The partners that we pursue or pursue us in most cases is the fact that we're a pioneer brand here in the States. We're very well established worldwide. And so the way we do business here is different than the way we've had to do business or we've done business in every other market in the world. So consequently, the one thing that we do look for with regards to the partners that we are seeking or are seeking us is that they understand that they are pioneering the brand. So it's as much as them embracing not only their history and their business, but embracing the JCB brand and heritage and helping communicate it to the North American marketplace. So to that end, it takes a certain type of individual and a certain business process in order to be successful from that standpoint.
Schmidt says that as a multi-generational family-owned business, JCB likes working with dealerships that are also family-owned and shared the story of Taylor Equipment, one of its newest dealers.
Taylor Equipment is a new dealer for us who was part of one of the large OEM distribution networks and chose that they wanted to remain independent, wanted to service their own customer base, and saw an opportunity for JCB, not just because of the products in the market, but also because the third generation is graduating college. So if I have an opportunity to find someone who wants to make their own way in the future, yeah, their grandfather might have started it, the father might have built it, but if they can make JCB theirs and have that brand identity, and as he said, pioneer, but also represent us, that to us is really the best situation, because then we can take a long-term approach at growing a business with someone, and we know we have the family support, but at the same time, an opportunity to grow with someone for 5, 10, 15 years. And one thing that we really preach at JCB is because we are a smaller family company, is that being independent means a lot. And in the United States, independence is, freedom of choice is something we all appreciate. And I believe that the ag market has taken some of that away. And I think some of the customers are feeling it. So timing is everything. And I do hope that people will look for opportunities and dealers are looking for opportunities to maintain their local independence in their dealer level.
We'll have the final segment of Dave's interview next time. Dealers on the move this week include new dealers for MTZ Equipment, the U.S. and Canadian distributor for Minsk Tractor Works of Belarus. The new North American retailers include Interstate Equipment of Valley City, North Dakota, Dave's Repair Farm Equipment of Hills, Minnesota, McFadden & Sons of Sharon Springs, New York, Skyline Implement of Sheridan, Wyoming, Wooler Equipment of Swanville, Minnesota, Don's Repair Service of Ashland, Wisconsin, Ridgetown Farm Equipment of Ridgetown, Ontario, WGI Sales of Spruce Grove, Alberta, and West Texas Machinery in Texas. Much like conventional farmers, growers who utilize no-tillage practices are planning to reduce their equipment purchases through the end of 2015, a trend that began to develop more than a year ago. The 436 no-tillers who responded to No-Till Farmers' 2015 Operational Benchmark Study Survey plan to spend an average of $42,186 on farm machinery in the current year, or $36.30 per acre. This compares to $64,938, or $55.88 per acre in 2014. Results of the survey indicate that no-till farmers will cut back spending on most major equipment categories. 11% have or are planning to purchase a tractor for 2015 cropping season versus 17.5% who plan to buy a tractor a year earlier. Only 4.4% plan to purchase a combine this year versus 10% last year. 7.3% will buy a planter compared to 12% a year ago. The same trend of lower spending on equipment holds for drills, self-propelled, and pull-type sprayers. Here's No-Till Farmer publisher Daryl Bruging with some analysis on the report.
Thanks, Kim. Our no-till farmer readers believe they're going to cut their equipment purchases by 33% through the end of 2015 compared to 2014. Now, while I believe they will pull back a bit, I can tell you that through the history of this benchmark study, farmers have always underestimated considerably what they plan to spend in the coming year for equipment. When we survey them the following year, we find they actually spend much more than they predicted. And that's likely because a lot of their actual purchasing decisions occur at the end of the year after they've been able to look at their yields and what they've earned in their operations, and they've had a chance to listen to what their accountants might be recommending in equipment purchases to reduce their tax burden. So had you talked to farmers last fall at the farm shows prior to harvest, many of them would have been very anxious about farm economics because grain prices had fallen considerably throughout the summer. But the mood was much better this spring after they got a chance to look at their financial picture following a substantial harvest. And at the end of the year, 81% of our readers say they made a net profit last year. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Daryl. Now here's technology editor Jack Zemlicka with a report from the Technology Corner.
Thanks, Kim. Easily transporting precision farming data in a universally usable format remains an industry challenge. But through collaboration and testing, stakeholders are moving closer toward a standardized method to share farm information among growers, dealers, and other trusted advisors. The Standardized Precision Ag Data Exchange, or SPADE project, is entering its third phase of an ongoing effort to solve some of the technological mysteries associated with precision data transfer. Working with nearly 30 agricultural suppliers of hardware, software, inputs, and farm equipment, the nonprofit project's mission is to promote, enable, and expand e-business in agriculture. To accomplish these goals, SPADE members identified several objectives to establish an open-source data platform. The project's first two phases are near completion and emphasized identification, testing, and development of infrastructure for standardized data transfer. The third phase will focus on implementation of reference tools and protocols to help companies begin to utilize the open source platform. We recently caught up with Andres Ferreira, SPADE 2 project team lead, and Jim Wilson, SPADE project manager, who talked about the benefits the initiative will have for dealers and their farm customers.
Creating value out of precision ag data has always been very difficult because of all that interoperability problem. What we're trying to do here is going to open the door for dealers to provide value-added services to their growers and establish themselves as trusted advisors that can help the grower be a better professional.
While SPADE 3 will be heavily focused on implementation, it will also include some new discovery on crop nutrition and possibly crop scouting tools, which are increasingly being utilized for gathering in-season field data. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Jack. Artsway Manufacturing, a diversified manufacturer of equipment serving agriculture, research, water treatment, and steel cutting, saw a 16.9% increase in revenue for the first quarter ended February 28th. Mark McConnell, Vice Chairman of Artsway's Board of Directors, says the company's diverse product mix contributed to the increase. Artsway offers nearly 20 different products, many of which are driven by the livestock and dairy sector, which have seen a big jump in demand, he says. McConnell says, for our products such as grinder mixers, manure spreaders, and hay and forage equipment, demand has been pretty strong and has more than offset the slowdown in other areas. The price of beef and other meats and milk are all up or have been higher than they have been the last several years. At the same time, the inputs like corn are low. They've got more margin than they've had during the last several years. Now from the Ag Equipment Archives. In 1945, Christian Umbel Stoltzfus designed the first modern agricultural lime spreader. The spreader minimized dust clouds surrounding the farmer as lime is applied to the field. It distributed powdered lime and crushed nutrients such as bone meal and rock phosphate close to the ground through evenly spaced holes in metal booms, each extending 15 feet horizontally from the machine's center. Today, Christian's company, Stoltzfus Spreaders, supplies 24 spreader models to farmers worldwide. We always like to hear from you, So if you have any story suggestions or comments, you can send them to kschmidt@lespub.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.